Welcome to the Scary Gold Club. I am your host, Hazel Robertson. I believe that to make the impact that you know you are called to make in the world, it requires setting bigger, scarier goals and then becoming the person who creates them. That is what I am here to show you how to do, exactly how to do that. What we're diving into. Mindset, tools, tricks, really simple, practical, actionable steps you can take and start applying straight away. Because whatever you believe, we have this one life that we definitely know about. Start making the impact you know you want to make in the world. Fear is not a reason to stop. We keep going. We work through the fear. That is what we do in the Scary Goals Club. Come on in, come join, hit subscribe, and let's get started. Okay, this is my first ever podcast episode. I am starting before I'm ready, okay? I have literally dreamed about having a podcast for years, way before I actually decided to become a coach. And then it's like, oh, I'm a coach. Great. Now I can have a podcast. And it's taken me almost 3 years to actually record this episode. The other day, I was looking back through podcast stuff that I had on Google Drive, and I found 5 episodes that I had recorded 3 years ago in February 2021. I found 3 more that I had in draft and others that I'd like written out what I was going to put in them. And I hadn't started. And I was thinking, imagine if back then I hadn't let fear, I hadn't let self-doubt get in the way, and I had actually just published them to the world. This might have been my 150th episode, but it is my first. And I'm not letting myself dwell on the fact that this isn't my 150th, my very first episode, and you're hearing it. And there are so many reasons, even today, even going through this process, that I was like, no, I'm not ready. My brain has been coming in with all these excuses. There's something that you want to do, something big and scary that you want to create, that you want to put out in the world. See if any of these resonate with you. My brain was like, oh, but you don't have a podcast mic. You don't look like a podcaster. You've just got this, if you're watching on video, I've got like a headset mic that I use for coaching. So yes, the sound's good, but it's like, you don't have a podcast mic. So you need to get a podcast mic before you can actually record a podcast. It's like, no, I don't. Well, you were going to move the desk more by the window and you were going to put some prints on the wall and have this cool background. And it's just a boring background with some plants. It's like, who cares? Like, well, you're getting your hair done tomorrow. And my brain's like, why don't you just wait until you've had your hair done and then record it? It's like, no. It was also offering me, so we are at the moment, I'm night weaning our 15-month-old, my son Flynn. And sleep's been a little bit broken. I've been a little bit tired. I've also coming out the back of post-viral fatigue. It's like, yeah, do you know what? You could wait until next week. Then you'll be feeling better. You'll have this nice background. Your hair will all be done. It's like the perfect conditions to start, right? That's exactly what my brain was offering me. What I now know, it was probably doing this 3 years ago, right? But what I now know is that these are excuses that my brain will offer. Your brain is probably doing it as well. And if it's doing it, that's okay, right? We have a human brain. It offers us thousands and thousands of thoughts every single day. A lot of them are negative and fear-based. It's making sense of the world, trying to keep us safe. It's like, oh, don't put yourself out there because someone might judge you. Someone might say your podcast is stupid. Someone might say it's boring. Someone might not like the look of you. Don't put yourself on camera. Why would you want to upload a podcast to YouTube? Just do audio only. Sit in your pajamas. Like no one will know. It's giving me all these thoughts. And your brain's probably giving you all these thoughts as well of like, just put it off. Now's not the right time. There's not enough time. I'm not feeling like it. All of these excuses. What sits underneath these is fear. Because our brain is scared of change. Our brain is scared of us putting ourselves out into the world, showing up in a bigger way, scared of failing. What will other people think? Scared of being separated from this tribe. You know, we're used to existing in tribes and we've evolved that way. Our brain has evolved that way. So anything that separates us, like, oh, other people watching us and us being separate, someone could comment, someone could judge. Like it feels so scary to our brain. And it's not a problem. Feeling that fear and doing it anyway. Fear doesn't have to mean stop. Years ago, fear meant stop. My very first half marathon I ever entered after uni, like signed up with it for a friend. I was like, yeah, cool. I've done a bit of running. Totally gonna do this half marathon. And didn't really train that much. And then the night before, he was like, oh, how are you feeling for the marathon? The half marathon. I was like, I'm actually not going to do it. And I felt sick, physically sick to my stomach, that I was so scared that I wasn't going to be able to do it. Well, I didn't do it anyway. We do this. We're so scared of failing that we don't even try. And therefore we kind of fail ahead of time. And this is what I've done over the last 3 years with this podcast. It really made me feel a bit sad almost, seeing this idea that I had, this scheme that I had to share some of this work, to share some of these tools with others, to help them to just get this work out into the world and help people do scary things, that I was too scared to do that. Now I'm in a place where I'm so compelled to share this. I have so many things that I want to share with you guys that is worth it to overcome all of this self-doubt and all of this fear that I'm feeling. Even now, my brain's like, you're being too chatty. You're probably saying and like a lot. You're pausing too much. You're thinking. I don't know, it's going on with all of these things. My cheeks are literally so red right now. But anyway, this is what's real for me. And it's like, you're going to look back on this first episode and you're going to be so embarrassed. Like when I was listening to these episodes I recorded 3 years ago, these 5 episodes, listening back, like, oh my goodness, it doesn't sound like me. I'm trying to be something I'm not. Whereas now I'm a little bit more sure of who I am and like what I want to talk about. But even now, my brain's saying, you're going to look back. It's going to be cringy. This is going to be so embarrassing. But do you know what? We start somewhere, right? This will always be my very first podcast episode. As I say that, I'm like, I can't believe this is it. I'm actually doing this and I'm actually going to publish it. And you're probably listening to it. You're on this journey with me, right? What is it for you? What is that thing? What is that scary dream? The one that keeps giving you, I think of it as like whispers. It's like, psst, psst. Or you see something, or you see someone else doing it and you feel a bit of an ache, like a tug, like, oh, I want to do that. Like, oh, I could do that too. What is that for you? Even take a moment now, pause this podcast, close your eyes, listen to your body and be like, what is that thing? That thing that just lights you up, that makes you go, yes, that desire to create, to do something, to put something in the world that wasn't there before, to show up in a bigger, older, scarier way. What is that for you? Check in with that now. And you probably feel a mix of, it is the right thing. You are compelled to do it. But there's the fear there as well. That is totally, totally normal. So what is that thing? And then just start. What is one thing you can do today? One action. Can you reach out to someone? Can you research something? Can you just write it down? Like I don't have any post-it notes here, but actually I do. Here, this is my scary goal. By 31st of December, I'll have launched my podcast. We're in February now. Like, here we go. I know I'll have done it because there will be 30 episodes available to download. Now, I put 30 episodes, so it wasn't like 28th of December, I'm launching the first one. I was like, no, I'm going to have 30 by the end of this year. And here's the first one. So what is that for you, right? What is that goal? Write it down, be really specific with it, have it somewhere that you can keep it in your mind's eye because it helps your brain remember it and think about it. And what is one thing that you're going to do today? Okay, so it's not just having this idea, letting it be there, dreaming about it. Yes, that's all good, but it's taking action towards it. It's what is that one thing that's going to move you forward, that's going to be starting. And once you start, the amazing thing is you overcome the self-doubt, you overcome the fear, you have the courage to start. It's so much easier to keep going and do the next thing and do the next thing. Starting is 100% the hardest part because you go from it being this idea to actually moving it into action, to starting to become that person who is going to create this thing, this scary goal that you want to create. You're stepping into this almost like new identity, right? So what is that one action you're going to take? Go and do that. So whatever you do today, no longer putting off these scary goals, okay? That whatever that dream is, today is the day that you start. So go and take action today. Hey, thanks so much for listening. If this was helpful, please hit subscribe and leave a review. This helps get this work in the hands of more purposeful people. That is, more people creating bigger, scarier goals, making an even bigger impact in the world. And if you want to take this work deeper and work with me directly, head to the show notes and I put all of the information there. If you've got any questions or if there's anything you're like, ooh, I'd love you to talk about that on the pod, please just get in touch. I love hearing from you guys. And I'll see you next time in the Scary Goals Club.